Good afternoon. Almost 62,000 students are receiving their Leaving Certificate results, which have been artificially boosted by an average of almost 8%. The grade inflation came on foot of a commitment by Education Minister Norma Foley to ensure results would be no lower than last year's.
From 10 o'clock this morning at St Caimin's Community School in Shannon, a steady stream of nervous students.
I'm really nervous, but I'm just going to pray. So, yeah, I don't really know. Last night I couldn't sleep at all.
They didn't have long to wait.
I'm so relieved. Delighted.
Yeah,
but you did the work, didn't you? Yeah, you did. Fantastic. I actually knew, but I couldn't tell you.
Did you see them?
I did.
This year's grades were artificially boosted by an average of almost 8% to compensate students for pandemic disruption.
I think the boost was definitely needed because we didn't have any practice exams really, and it was way more difficult because we had no previous experience, I think, anyway, so yeah.
And you're delighted with your results?
Yeah, I'm very happy.
I thought I failed German, but we passed it, thank God.
So you're really pleased?
Very, very pleased.
There was controversy in June around a higher level maths paper regarded by some as unfairly difficult, but here students were pleased with their results.
I did well in my maths, which is something I didn't think would happen because we all know about the whole maths paper 1 incident. But yeah, I did well in maths. I did well in physics, so I'm very happy.
Speaking in Tralee, the minister defended the decision to boost marks.
They never sat the junior cycle exam. That's quite significant in terms of experience and preparedness for the final state exam in terms of Leaving Certificate. They also had to grapple quite significantly with a considerable degree of remote teaching and learning.
Yeah, it's a big relief because you're sitting at home last night and you're worrying and you're thinking about it and did I pass maths and how did I do? But sure, it is all done now and there was nothing you could have done last night, but I'm happy now and happy with my results.
The CAO will make college offers next Wednesday.
Emma Kelly reporting there. Now, Donald Trump has made history again as the first former US president to have his mugshot taken. Mr. Trump surrendered to authorities in Georgia last night to face criminal charges that he plotted to overturn the 2020 presidential election in the southern state.
The mugshot Donald Trump has avoided until now. The former president had already made history as the first to face criminal charges, but this is the first time he was processed like an ordinary criminal, fingerprints and all. Perhaps wise to the divisive nature of the photograph, Donald Trump posted it on X, his first time on the platform since he was banned from Twitter, saying, "Election interference, never surrender," and directing people to his website for donations. This was the site greeting Trump as he arrived in Atlanta to face multiple charges around his efforts to overturn the 2020 presidential election, when he was heard in a phone call telling Georgia's top election official to find 11,780 votes. Arriving at Fulton County Jail last night, Trump was charged with 13 offences before leaving on $200,000 bail.
I did nothing wrong, and everybody knows it. I've never had such support, and that goes with the other ones too. What they're doing is election interference. They're trying to interfere with an election.
This is the fourth criminal case against Trump, all of which he denies, and none of which appear to dent his popularity among Republicans.
He firmly believed, like we do too, the election was not fair, was not transparent, it's lack of integrity.
He's expected to try to have his trial moved to federal court, along with several of his other co-defendants, a strategy which could delay the trial. Juliette Gash, RTÉ News.
A judge has ruled that hearsay evidence can be used in the trial of a former British soldier charged with 2 murders on Bloody Sunday in Derry in 1972. Soldier F, who cannot be named for legal reasons, is charged with the murders of James Ray and William McKinney and 5 attempted murders.
Relatives of those Soldier F is alleged to have killed arrived at the courthouse in Derry this morning with friends and supporters. They watched from the public gallery as District Judge Ted McGill ruled on an application by the Public Prosecution Service for statements from 6 former soldiers to be admitted as evidence. The soldiers said they saw Soldier F firing his gun in the area where William McKinney and James Ray were shot dead on Bloody Sunday. The judge ruled that hearsay evidence from 5 of the soldiers, 3 of whom are now dead, is admissible. He said he could find nothing to persuade him that there was any unfairness in admitting the statements. Afterwards, a lawyer for the relatives said it was a significant step in the case against the only soldier to be charged in connection with the 13 killings on Bloody Sunday.
It's a bad day for Soldier F. It's a step closer to the families seeing Soldier F being committed for and sent forward for trial.
There's still a few hurdles there yet, and we need to wait and see, but we're certainly a bit more hopeful than what we were an hour and a half ago.
The judge in this committal hearing made it clear it will be up to the trial judge to make the final decision. A lawyer for Soldier F told the court the defence needs time to consider the ruling. There will be a further hearing next month. Vincent Kearney, RTÉ News, Derry.
The Media Minister Catherine Martin is meeting the chair of the RTÉ board, Siún Raleigh, and the RTÉ Director General, Kevin Backhurst. Today's meeting at her department was organised by Minister Martin to discuss ongoing efforts to restore trust in the national broadcaster. An interim forensic accounting report into RTÉ's barter account is also due to be discussed. That report is expected to be published this afternoon. Now, new EU rules come into force today, requiring big tech firms to do more to police illegal and harmful content. Ireland will play a leading role in enforcing the Digital Services Act because of the presence of so many European headquarters here. Let's get more from our work and technology correspondent Brian O'Donovan. Brian, what sort of obligations will these new rules impose on big tech companies?
Well, the Digital Services Act, Vivian, means that they will have to take quicker action when it comes to taking down illegal or harmful content. They'll have to stop the spread of disinformation. They'll have to take action when it comes to targeted advertising aimed at vulnerable people. And there's hefty fines involved here. They could be fined billions of euro if they fail to comply. And repeated breaches mean that they could be asked to leave the EU altogether and be blocked from doing business here. Now, you mentioned Ireland's role at the start there, and I'll give you an interesting statistic. Of the 19 online platforms that are coming under this remit today, 13 of them have their European headquarters here in Ireland, which means that Ireland will be a lead authority for the vast majority of these tech firms. You can guess the firms we're talking about here. It's Google, it's Meta, the parent company of Instagram and Facebook, it's TikTok, it's Twitter, now known as X. All these big social media platforms, Ireland will be tasked with policing these new rules. The question is, will we be able for it? Will we be able to handle all this responsibility? Well, it's going to fall on Comisiún, the new media regulator that was established this year. They'll be tasked with looking after that. The government says the funding's in place. Comisiún is hiring the staff, but they're certainly going to be very, very busy with these new rules that they'll have to enforce.
Brian, thank you. In sports news, the president of the Spanish Football Association has said he will not resign over his behaviour at last Sunday's Women's World Cup final. Luis Rubiales was initially seen making a lewd gesture when Spain beat England before then kissing Spanish midfielder Jenny Hermoso on the lips during the trophy presentation. Football's world governing body FIFA opened disciplinary proceedings against Rubiales yesterday, but the president has today told Spain's Football Federation that he would not be stepping down. Now, Ireland's squad for the Rugby World Cup will now be named on Sunday. The announcement has been brought forward by a day. Andy Farrell will reveal the chosen 33 players when the squad returns from France on Sunday afternoon. Ireland are in Bayonne, where they'll play Samoa tomorrow night in their final warm-up game ahead of the tournament.
The final, as I said, the final step the players can take is actually to go out and show it again in the test match this weekend. That anxiety is obviously stressful enough for players, but at the same time, nothing that players aren't used to in terms of stress in the professional rugby environment.
And that is Friday's lunchtime news. From all the team here, have a good afternoon.